All right, guys, so we have a few different things to break down today. Of course, going over what happened today at Packers training camp, as we have done the past 5 days. So I think now we are on day 6 of Packers training camp. So I want to go through a couple things there, especially touch on Juwann Winfree, who seems to be catching tons of attention in the past week or so. Possibly, maybe he could end up making the roster. It seems that people are liking what they're seeing from him. And then I also want to go through some Matt Lafleur quotes he had on Eric Stokes and also Randy Ramsey's injury from yesterday. But if you guys are new here, you haven't subscribed, you want to see more Packers content, all the news, everything like that, feel free to subscribe to the channel down below because I put all that kind of stuff out on this channel. So first off, I want to start off with the Matt Lafleur quotes. First off, here we have a quote he has on basically what he has to say on Eric Stokes. They were asking him about, him being beat by Davante, as it has been reported the past couple of days. And he said, this is what he said. He said, "I think that's going to be the case for most corners going against Davante, and just try to reiterate to him that you're going against the best of their position in Aaron and Davante. There's going to be some tough moments. I think he's got the right mentality and the right mindset, continuing to push to get better. He knows that when you're going against the best, it is only going to make you better. So I think he's got the right mindset for that." So I think, with Eric Stokes, he's a rookie. He's in his first couple weeks of training camp for the Packers, and he's facing, the best wide receiver in football. So I don't really think there's anything to be worried with Eric Stokes. And as, Matt Lafleur was saying, it's good for him to be going up against, such great competition, because all I can do, is learn from those experiences. And then moving on, Matt Lafleur here is talking about Randy Ramsey's injury from yesterday. He says that was not a good injury, and it's a shame because he's done so much in terms of bringing that special teams value. But also he's reliable, and we've been putting him there on defense as well, and brings some much needed depth to that position. Other guys are going to have to pick up the slack, and that's the National Football League works, unfortunately. But I feel bad for him. He's worked really hard. I think he's improved a lot over the course of 2 seasons. Hopefully we'll get him back at some point, but I know it definitely wasn't one of those injuries you'd like to have. So I've heard it's a left ankle injury. I don't exactly know what the injury is, but from the way Matt Lafleur is talking about it, it seems to me like it's a pretty serious injury, maybe an injury that'll make him miss, majority of the season, because he said if he could potentially come back. So who knows even if he'll be back. I'm guessing we'll get more news out about later, exactly what the timetable is for him to return. But definitely sad news for Randy Ramsey getting injured in training camp. So now moving on to some tweets from Packers reporters today from Packers training camp. Starting off here from Tom Silverstein. It says, "Most impressive thing in wide receivers versus cornerbacks one-on-ones is watching wide receiver Juwann Winfree get off the line of scrimmage super quick." So I've seen lots of people saying he's looking really good there, including Tom Silverstein here in one-on-one drills. And then we have another one from him. We have Ryan Wood saying, "Big play was Aaron Rodgers to Juwann Winfree for 25 yards on 4th and 10 with 15 seconds left. Found an opening and prevent defense and gave offense a chance. Rodgers was 3 for 7 with 43 yards on the unsuccessful drive." So, one of the topics of debate has been how many wide receivers are the Packers going to keep? Will it be 5? Will it potentially be 6? Because they do seem to have so much wide receiver talent. Plus now with Randall Cobb coming in, that sort of, takes a roster spot away from probably one of the guys who maybe would have made it. So if there are 5 spots, we got Davante, Allen Lazard, MVS, Randall Cobb, Amari Rodgers. That would be my prediction for the 5. But then we also have, Devin Funchess, Juwann Winfree, Equanimeous St. Brown, a couple other guys as well. So if there are 6, it's going to be a good question. Is Devin Funchess going to make it? Is he not going to make it? He's a guy who's been in the league for a long time, and it could be interesting if, he doesn't make it, if one of these younger guys does sort of come in and fill that spot. So honestly, I don't know who's going to end up making the final cut when it comes to the 6th wide receiver, if there is one. But just the fact that Winfree, keeps coming up in, reporters' tweets, keeps coming up that he's looking really, really good, it seems that maybe he could make the spot. Maybe he could be a guy to come in here and, be, one of the last Packers receivers to come on this roster. So it could be interesting to see, with Winfree. Then we have Ryan Wood here again, says, "Elton Jenkins, strong camp continuing today. Jenkins won 3 straight reps versus Preston Smith to start one-on-ones, all from the left tackle spot. Jenkins shoved Smith to the ground on final rep." So with Bottiari out, Elton Jenkins could potentially come in here and be the left tackle, maybe meaning, Billy Turner could be at right tackle, maybe Dennis Kelly, and then at guard, potentially Lucas Patrick, John Runyon. And then we have seen Ben Braden mentioned a good amount as well, so maybe he could, sneakily come in there and take one of those spots. who knows? And then Josh Myers, center, seems to be doing pretty good, getting some high praise from Aaron Rodgers. So that's sort of something that we've kept touching on, is this offensive line, and just sort of waiting and seeing, what this actual, final line is going to look like, especially, if David Bottiari isn't there. Okay, then we have Wes Hodquist here saying 2-minute end with a TJ Slayton PD and interception, pass deflection, and big man wanted to end zone. Wanted in the end zone? I think he walked in the end zone. It seems that TJ Slayton is looking good. Defensive tackle, drafted by the Packers, a big, huge dude. So the fact that he picked it off and ran back, pretty impressive for a big guy like that. And I'm honestly excited to see what he can do for the Packers defense this year, especially, when it comes to stopping the run. Having one of those big body guys in there is definitely a benefit, a good add for this Packers D. Then we have Tom Silverstein saying, have seen inside linebacker Kamal Martin working at outside linebacker several times today. Could be a position change or experiment. So that's sort of an interesting thing that happened there, with Kamal Martin last year being, inside linebacker for majority of the year, with Chris Barnes and Kamal Martin, two young guys last season. But now with Devondre Campbell in there, Kamal Martin hasn't really been seeing those number one reps, it seems, as much at inside linebacker, so maybe the Packers are testing him out at outside linebacker. So that should be another thing, to sort of keep an eye out for in the rest of the Packers training camp. Then we have Ryan Wood here from a press, or David Bottiari had a press conference, and it says here, left tackle David Bottiari won't say if he's playing week 1, not setting a timeline on his recovery. He's itching to get back though. He said, I don't like seeing other people do my job. So there's not really anything certain about David Bottiari. What it sort of seems like to me is that it's just sort of waiting and seeing how he progresses through this training camp to determine if he will be ready to play. But nothing, no really timetable has been given for him. So we'll just have to hope that he can be ready by week 1. It's a possibility, but at the same time, he may not be able to be ready, by the start of the season. But the Packers seem to have prepared for that, whether he's ready to go or whether he's not ready to go. I think this line is going to be pretty stellar coming into 2021 just because of all the draft picks the Packers have used on the line in 2021, the addition of Dennis Kelly in the past, week or so. So I think the Packers are prepared, whether David Bottiari is here or whether he's not here. Obviously, the Packers probably want to see David Bottiari out there considering he is the best left tackle in the NFL. But, if he's not there, I think they're, pretty equipped to handle, missing him on the offensive line. Then we have here to finish it off, Matt Schneidman says, Jair Alexander just picked 6th, Aaron Rodgers on a floater intended for Devontae Adams. Alexander then hopped the fence into the stands and started turning up with the fans. So that's fun to see for Jair Alexander picking off Aaron Rodgers. Always fun to see Jair Alexander being a beast. So those are all the biggest things from Packers training camp today. We got a preseason game coming up in like 10 days. What's today? Tuesday? I think today's Tuesday. Coming up next Saturday or Sunday. I got to check the calendar. I forget some of these things. But in the next couple weeks, we will probably get to see Jordan Love a lot. I think that'll be interesting to watch to see, how good he is, because it has seemed like he's still a little inconsistent, maybe still struggling a little bit. He's not looking like insanely amazing, like lights out there, at least from what I'm seeing, on Twitter and stuff. So I'm excited for the preseason, mainly for the fact of seeing, how good is Jordan Love, because we just don't really know until we actually see him in a game. So I'm excited for that. That should be coming up in the next, couple weeks, Packers' first preseason game. But that's going to be it for this video today. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you've yet to, and I'll see you guys on the next one.